Mini gave to his response to Governor Wike's request for a refund of the money spent for flyovers on federal roads in the state. As you may know, the president-elect had told the governor that he owed him nothing, a comment that sparked online conversations suggesting that the response may have political connotations. But speaking during the commissioning of the Justice Iche Ndu Magistrate Court Complex in Port Harcourt yesterday, the president-elect said he cannot commit himself to anything when his tenure has not started.
I am personally grateful to the man who brought me here. He didn't ask for a personal commitment. He asked for a policy commitment, which an incoming president has no authority to offer and approve. There can only be one president at a time. I cannot commit to expenditure on behalf of outgoing president when my tenure has not started.
The president-elect said the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, assuring all citizens that it will be fair to all. He also said his administration will ensure judicial reforms.
I take a different angle to what Wike has done here today. It's fighting corruption. To pay attention to their welfare. If one fear dispensation of justice, you don't want them to operate in hazardous conditions. This is the way to fight corruption. Let's think value for value. We don't want our judges to play foul, to compromise justice. Not just the books, but do something. I promise you, we're going to review all of this in a policy think tank.
In the meantime, Governor Nyesom Wike has named a block in the newly inaugurated Justice Iche Ndu Magistrate Court Complex in the state after his wife, Justice Eberichi Nyesom Wike. Governor Wike, who said this during the inauguration of the complex yesterday, also named other blocks after some top judicial officers in the state. The governor said he decided to name one block after his wife so as not to leave office empty-handed, having named other structures after distinguished justices. He also charged the chief judge of the state to ensure proper maintenance of the building. The governor promised a monthly maintenance fee of 20 million naira.
I feel so bad that you build a structure like this. Come back here in the next 6 months. You ask yourself, why did I even embark upon this? Beautiful as it is, I hope in the next 6 months it will still be like this. When you enter into the courtrooms, their conditions to be working. Put it in your budget. I will plead with my successor. So each month you get 20 million naira to maintain this place. So we'll give you 1 year in advance for the maintenance of the structure.
In another development, the military has again warned against plans to sabotage the handover of power to the president-elect Bola Tinubu on May 29. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Dan Mamdami, handed down the warning yesterday, saying the armed forces were on standby and will ensure a smooth transition process scheduled to take place in 24 days. Moving on, the suspended Adamawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner Udu Yunusa Ari, who is under police probe, has been granted bail. Also allowed to go home are 2 INEC commissioners and other officials undergoing interrogation at the police headquarters in connection with the Adamawa governorship election controversy. Their release on administrative bail is with conditions. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is urging INEC to deregister any voter who does not vote in 2 election cycles. The lawmakers also say INEC should develop a system to delete dead voters from the voters register. This was the resolution of the lawmakers after a motion of urgent national importance by member Leke Abejide, drawing the attention of the House to what it described as irregularities observed during the 2023 general elections. Away from that, the River State Police Command says it deployed personnel to different parts of the state to ensure effective policing. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Ringeko, said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka.
The CP has deployed some tactical teams. We have already drawn our plan to ensure that the state is crime-free.
As you may know, there has been an increased presence of police personnel around Rumokoro Flyover, Obirikwere Flyover, Rumigbo Junction, Elechi Beach axis of Diob, parts of East-West Road and other areas. In another development, police say no arrests have been made as they investigate the killing of a youth leader, Matthew Ebenezer, by gunmen in Awuda East Local Government area of Rivers State on Wednesday night. The spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Oringo Koko, told our correspondent that the leader of the gang behind the attack has been identified. Still ahead, Senator Ekweremadu, wife, doctor, due for sentencing over organ trafficking. Stay tuned as we go for a quick break.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. Former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, who was found guilty in March of trafficking a man to Britain to harvest one of his kidneys, will be sentenced at London's Old Bailey Court later today. Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice plan to give the organ to their daughter, who has kidney disease. The victim, a 21-year-old street trader from Lagos, was offered $8,000 and promised a better life in Britain, but only realized what was going on when he met doctors in the hospital. The Ekweremadus, along with the medic who helped them, are the first people convicted of organ trafficking under Britain's modern slavery laws. The maximum sentence they could face is life imprisonment. In business, the federal government has refunded 859.7 billion naira to various state governments as reimbursement for out-of-pocket expenditures incurred in constructing federal roads over 8 years. This was disclosed in a fact sheet highlighting achievements of the Buhari administration shared by the presidency recently. In entertainment, Nollywood actress Funke Akindele says she stayed away from Twitter after losing the election because of trolls. Ms. Akindele adventured into politics as running mate to the Lagos State PDP candidate but lost the election. In sports, Manchester United boss Eric Ten Hag has said the side needs to be decisive at the front and maintain a level head at the back. His comments come after a heart-wrenching last-minute defeat by Brighton at the American Express Community Stadium yesterday night.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
U.S. President Joe Biden has issued an executive order authorizing sanctions against Sudan, saying the fighting must end. Mr. Biden called the violence a tragedy and a betrayal of the Sudanese people. He said the violence in Sudan was an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. On the news this afternoon, you heard President-elect Bulletin has clarified his "I owe you nothing" response to Governor Wike. The military has again warned against plans to sabotage May 29 handover. The suspended Adamawa Reg has been granted bail. Senator Korimadu, wife and doctor, will be sentenced today over organ trafficking. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has authorized sanctions against Sudan. The news was edited by Martha Okiri. Cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. This is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakurubatubo. Good afternoon. Sunny Side with Constance Mega is up next. Stay tuned.